All right, y'all. It's Tuesday. Oh, it's Wednesday, y'all. We here, me and Dusty, like Tonto and the Lone Ranger, y'all. I say this every week, and this is how we do it, y'all. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. We're about to do this like we do it every week, y'all. Me and the Dusty one. It's about to go down, down, down. Dusty already in the show.
My man Lonzo.
What up, Doc? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Can't complain. How about you, dude?
You know what? I'm doing great, man. I got so much stuff. I feel like I'm juggling. I'm in the circus. I should be on America's Got Talent, just juggling all these damn projects and shit. Just juggling.
Love that. Love that.
No balls, baby. I ain't dropping nothing though. Talk to me.
Hey, well, I want to kind of touch on the 50th year anniversary of hip hop this week, but specifically the West Coast contribution to that, amongst a few other things. We'll probably touch on the nigga verse this week, but not too much. But I kind of want to talk to you about some hip hop stuff. But all right, 50 years of hip hop, 1973. Take yourself back to 1973. Even though you were on the West Coast and, hip hop started on the East Coast, and I put that in quotes, depending on, who you ask. But hip hop started with four elements, Lonzo, as you know: DJing, b-boying, graffiti, and rapping. And is it safe to say that since we were doing most of that on the West Coast, minus the rapping probably, that the West Coast was there since day one? We were pop locking and stuff, right? Were they pop locking in 73? That was before my time, so correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they were locking in 73. They were locking. Don Campbell and the Lockers were the hottest thing going at that time. They were all over the streets, and they were all over Soul Train. They eventually moved to American Bandstand. Pissed off Don Cornelius, but that's a whole other story. The graffiti, the style of graffiti, I don't recall that in 73 here on the West Coast, man. I don't recall that. I don't recall a hip-hop style of graffiti. I remember people writing on walls, but I don't recall that here on the West Coast. It might have been in East LA. I don't remember seeing that in Compton, okay? Rapping. We had rappers like the Escorts, the brothers Escorts, Watch Prophets, and we heard acts like Gil Scott Heron, who had a rapid flair, but you couldn't dance to none of this stuff. It was not danceable rap. It wasn't that stuff that you can, clap your hands, everybody clap your hands. No, it was about more like a militant situation. 73. I'm in the 10th grade. I'm trying to be a locker. Lockers is dancing to Billy Preston's Out of Space. Earth, Wind, and Fire had just hit. I'm really stressing. I'm really stretching to agree with the birth date of 1973, especially for the West Coast. It may have been a date. It may have been a date that was effective in the East Coast, but like me and Dr. Dre debated on our show Legendary Connects, is that it's okay to have different birthdays. Okay, we both Geminis, we got different birthdays. So in my opinion, now here's something that was also said in another conversation, that Kool Herc referenced the Lockers, Don Campbell and the Lockers, as being a part of the hip hop movement. Now, if that's the case, hip hop started in LA. So it all depends on who's holding the conversation and what are we discussing? Whether the elements started first or did hip hop started first? If locking, not pop locking, is a form of hip hop, then that means that origin started in 73 in Los Angeles. All right. Now, what he did is on 1520 Sedgwick was another element, and I don't know who. I can't speak on who was the graffiti artist that established that. I know King Tim III from the Fatback Band did something in 79 that was a pretty big hit. That was a rap record. That was a pretty big hit. I don't recall any other than wait a minute, hold on. But man, it wasn't. It was rapping. Back in the day, you had cats like here come the judge, here come the judge, here come the judge, y'all. And he was rapping. Okay, he made it had a much better flow, but he was rapping. So man, I mean, the origins and the original dates, we had to kind of compromise and go with 73. Although in 73, I was 15, 16. 15 to 16 and 73, which means Cool Herc was about 16 to 17. I mean, it could be what it is, but you know, it's still gonna be up in the air. And everybody that was when this first started coming around, everybody was like, man, how can it be 50 years already? And you know, the we didn't get our first real record. Well, people were rapping in New York. That's to get that, but there was nothing tangible that's tangible on wax until about 77, 78. So all these things, Pig Meat Markham, thank you, Doc. Eric Riley, Pig Meat Markham, here come the judge, okay?
Here come the judge.
Yo, here come the judge. Don't nobody judge. Don't nobody budge, because here come the judge. That was a cold record, too. You must be lost in the jungles of Brazil. I'd rather be lost in the jungles of Brazil than face this judge out here. Something like that. Anyway, it was all, then they had these little splice records they would make. They would ask you a question, and they splice a record in. They rap on top of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, thank you, G-Rock. King Tim III, personality jock. That was one of the first major rap records that we remember hearing. I remember hearing, but again, still wasn't Sugar Hill. Okay, it wasn't Rapper's Delight. It wasn't Christmas Rapping with Curtains Blow, and damn sure wasn't The Break. But it was a good record. Don't get me wrong. I see Craig in the house. What's up, Mr. Craig? So yeah,
Weisinger.
All these elements are up for debate in some ways, and people have just resolved to the fact, okay, we're gonna give it to Cool Herc, 1973 at 1500 Sedgwick, but again, when the even people from New York are like, yeah, come on, man, we were doing this, we were doing that, and you know, and if you, like I said, if you use Don Campbell and Locken as a reference, you change origins. That was all California. Man.
There it is. Nightbreed had a question earlier. I'm going to try to paraphrase it, but he wanted to know what Dr. Dre and N.W.A.'s legacy will be at the end of the day. What do you think?
They changed the landscape of rap forever. They opened up a portal that can never be shut down. They between them and Luther Campbell, Luke Skywalker, or Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke, they took something that was underground for years and for decades and made it mainstream and got rich and moved on.
Great question.
Everybody have a different opinion. Because when you talk to people, when you talk to scholars, people that really study this thing, people that have really studied this situation, a lot of our social problems magnified. They didn't start. They magnified right after N.W.A. Because at the same time you had N.W.A., you also had drugs come to the community by the boatloads, and for the first time, drug dealers got theme music. And it changed the whole landscape of the streets. You always had gangs. We had gangs since the 50s and 60s. You always had drugs. But usually the drugs and the gangs were not on the same level. You might have had a drug dealer, a gang member that might have sold a little weed or some pills, but it wasn't an entire industry. It was an individual hustle. The drug game in the Black community, for the most part, was controlled by grown men. When I say grown men, I'm talking about guys 30, 35 years old. and they did not intertwine with youngsters. The cocaine game was not a youngster's game. Cocaine game was not a youngster's game. A kilo of cocaine back in the 70s was $30,000. What 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 20-year-old got 30 grand to dole out at $100 a pop? Even if you bought a half a key, a quarter key, that's $750. $750. So and then even then, because the penalties were so stiff, no adults wanted the kids anywhere around them when that was going down. You couldn't be nowhere around it. So once the drugs came into the community, the gangs met the drugs, and now you got music to amplify and glorify, to slang. You got music to slang by. Changed everything, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, I want your opinion on this clip that I came across recently, Lonzo, from Lazy Bone, from Bone Thugs and Harmony. He was recently on Gangster Chronicles. Shout out to Gangster Chronicles. And I'm going to play about 45 seconds of this. I thought about you, and I would love your comments. Here we go. This is Lazy Bone on Gangster Chronicles.
With schooling, so now I feel like you have to have a business, some type of business degree if you're going to be a rapper. So, you need to take account. Like all these, a rapper now, it ain't just us putting words on paper. You got to run a whole full business. Oh, so you just coming to the mic because you can spit, that don't mean nothing. Everybody raps. So, but can you manage your career? Like, I manage myself. I've been managing myself, but I've been reading my own contracts. You got to understand the wearing tools, the foreign whips, and the hearing tools in your contracts. And you got to be able to dissect your contract. Okay, you like your clothes, your brand. Now a rapper is a brand. You know what I'm saying? So how do you manage that brand if you don't understand the different aspects of your shows, of your lawyers, if you don't know how to deal with every aspect of your business, then you're not gonna make it. And if you might get a one-hit song, but you ain't gonna last. So,
your thoughts, Lonzo?
I think he's absolutely correct. You need to know the business that you're about to get into. It makes no sense to just want to be on the top part of the business and not understand the roots. That's where the money is. The top part is where you shine at, but the bottom part is where you grind at, and that's where you maintain your longevity. In my situation, I still own my publishing. I still own my masters. So as I get ready to tell my life story, they got to go. I'm a one-stop shop. I wish somebody would offer me a few $1 million for these records. I probably would take the deal. But even now, I probably would. Because at 66 versus 26, it's a big difference.
Correct.
And I think the real issue would be the depth of my catalog. All my songs are not that popular, but a lot of them are still produced by Dr. Dre. So even though they're not that popular, they still have value to the true hip hop heads. And that's the part that folks have to, that's where the value comes in at. They were early Dre production. It's like buying an early Rembrandt. Rembrandt made the other pictures, but he also made some drawings. He drew his name. It's a story I saw on Facebook or YouTube. A lady asked him to draw something. All he did was draw a basic face, and he asked her for $5,000 or something like that. And she said, "What, $5,000 for that?" She says, "No, what I draw, it's the time it took me to draw it. It's the time it took me to draw it where you want to buy it. The value is in the value is in the perception of the buyer. So that's where the value is. It's in the perception of the buyer. So if you got something, you may not think of high value, but somebody else may say, "Damn."
Some Saudi Arabian prince out there might be a big Dr. Dre fan and wants everything Dr. Dre, and he'll pay you $8 million for that shit.
Stuff shit that nobody else end up in a box someplace. He may think it's a doggone treasure. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. Man, I love it. I don't know if we know too much about Mo Thug's records, Nightbreed, but maybe we can get Lazy Bone on the show in the future to talk about Mo Thugs. That was Lazy Bone's record label. It came out in like the 2000s. Lonzo, are you familiar with Mo Thug Records at all? It was a branch of obviously Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Right, I remember it. I don't remember much about it though.
Yeah, me either. We couldn't give you an honest assessment. But going back to hip hop and your early involvement in it, you were chopping down trees at the beginning of this thing, finding your way through. If you could pick one, what was the biggest mistake that you made as an artist, musician, businessman, that in hindsight you look back like, damn, I can't believe I did that. Or if I did this different, things would be different.
You know, I get asked that a lot, Doc. And for me, I should have stuck my hand in some of this potential money long term. Usually when after I realized when you are involved when you do certain referrals, you can get a point or two on the project. Okay, I never got any points, so I think I probably would have got a point or two, actual point or something like that on the various projects. But again, here's some people you have to realize also. Nobody left Lonzo and went to a major right away and got a big deal. Everybody went to independent label, blew up, then they got a big deal. It's kind of hard to maintain. It's almost like a slave contract. You know, nobody just, you know, I know when I think with King T did this deal, he left unknown and went to Capitol or wherever he went, and they were able, people who managed him were able to get a couple of dollars off the deal to sign the release. Okay, if I let you go, if you already moved, my contract is up, you go to Ruthless, and you struggling at Ruthless, and then you blow up. How do you get paid from that? So there's the opportunities may not have been there for me. Again, I maybe I'm stupid to a certain degree. I got a certain operating system that I work by, man. And I don't think I made a lot of mistakes. I would like to get paid sooner in my life. But if I'd got paid sooner, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. I know that. I know it. I know me.
I said, I know me.
I know me. If I'd have got me a few million back in the day, I might be like Russell over there in trouble someplace, dodging the fucking feds.
Damn. That's hilarious.
Okay, I ain't gonna mess with no babies. That ain't what I do. But I'm just saying, everybody has a calling. My calling was not to be a gangster rapper, was not to be rich at 30 years old. Especially at that time. If I had gotten rich back then, I'd be dead by now.
Me too.
I'd be dead by now. They should be bullshitting myself. I'd have did something too much, too fast, too long, or I'd be all messed up. Because I was able to sit back and watch things unfold, I think they gave me a different advantage over a lot of cats. One, like I said, because I'm older, I saw a lot of bullshit when I was a kid, and I never chose sides. And when I saw certain things unfolding, I was able to step back and go do something else in the industry. I was never stuck in the rap industry. Not that it was a bad thing, but I never had to depend on performing to eat. Okay, I had other skills. I'm a DJ. I booked a gig today. I'm a DJ. I'm a club owner. I do different things. I'm not a one-trick pony. So in doing what I did, what I've done, do I have it? I don't have any real mistakes, man. I thank God in my life and the way He wanted me to have and what way He wanted to be. And as I talked to various people about various parts of my career, doing my story and documentaries, I'm still in control. Okay, I'm still in control of me, and that's a good thing.
Very good thing. Very good thing. Keep the questions coming, everybody. I'm copying and pasting them all. Someone wanted to know if Dr. Dre smoked weed back in the day. We've talked about this, but break it down.
No. When we were World Class Wrecking Crew, Nobody smoked weed. In fact, weed was not even that popular in the hood back then. Weed was not that popular. Weed had just had a shift from the two-finger dime, the four-finger dimes, to the $20 bags. Okay, you're talking to a person who grew up four-finger dime, two-finger nickels. Now you telling me for $20 I get this right here? Oh, you got me messed
up. That chronic, that was some bullshit.
you got me messed up. Okay, so for a long time, a person who I admit it, I smoked weed when I was a youngster, and for me and my cousins to piece up and get a nickel sometime, it was hard. A nickel bag, it was hard because it was times was different. We got a dime or we got jobs and was able to afford a $60 bag of Acapulco Gold. That was a major thing for us. Okay, and if you got fresh money and got some Thai stick, that was another major achievement. But at some point in time, all that stuff disappeared, and here comes this chronic in a bag this big, a little jewelry bag. I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not doing that. So for decades, that was not on my to-do list, and nobody else was list either. Nobody else messed with it. Nah, it was not something we did back in the day. What? I tell you something else. That's what really one of the things I was really disturbed about. I saw Straight Outta Compton, the movie. Every time you saw us in a scene, everybody had a drink in their hand, and nobody drank back then. Nobody drank, not even me. I ran nightclubs forever, and my bartender would tell you, she know when I had a good night because I'll get a drink. I would drink every blue moon. It's not something I have to have, and the damn show wasn't something any of us did back in the day. When they put a drink in Yellow's hand, I was done.
I don't know why that made me laugh. Oh man, on Express Yourself, they were talking about what do you say? We don't smoke weed or cess because it's known to give a brother brain damage, and brain damage on the mic don't manage nothing. And then 4 years later, they're smoking chronic on an album.
When I see that, when Lonzo sees that, that reminds me of CB4. That reminds me of CB4. They was trying to find something. They was the Fat Boys. They were Jamaicans. They was all this different thing trying to find their way. They finally found something that worked for them. I'm not mad at them, but that wasn't authentic in my opinion. It wasn't authentic. They reiterated to the time. Okay, cool, but that was not the original thing. I've never seen any of them high around me. Period.
Yeah, even in hindsight, I think it's safe to say that the Chronic album actually brought a spike. I bet you if there's some chart out there somewhere of marijuana usage, I bet it spiked in 92, 93 when that album came out.
I was listening to a podcast today that my boy Velo, shout out to Velo, sent me. It was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Warren G, and the host was Big Boy. And they was talking about the Chronic album. And Warren G says some white guy came into the studio while they were recording the album and had this different color weed. He said, "Oh no, man, this is hydroponic." And somebody says, "Oh, that's the Chronic, or hydrochronic, or something like that." And it stuck. And next thing you know, that term, the Chronic, became synonymous with that album, and it became a brand of weed that everybody wanted to have. And I was always confused because when I saw it, and I remember, I'm like, damn, you would think the way weed spiked in popularity that it was just discovered off the Fiji Island somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, and just miracle drug. We were smoking that shit since the 60s.
Oh, and man, shit.
And we had different natural grades of weed. Natural grades. Okay, you had the cheap Tijuana shit that looked like that was blocked up like matted hair. Then you got the better grade of that same stuff, because after a while you get the stuff off the bottom of off the bird or whatever, and it just is horrible. Sticks and stems, you got to sift it and get the stems out, get the seeds out. If you didn't get the seeds out, the shit pop on your pants leg. If you wasn't wearing Levi's, your shit was gonna catch fire, gonna burn a hole right through your pants to your leg. Okay, so
Yep.
you got the other stuff that was more manicured. You got the buds when you started getting the Colombian stuff. That was buds and tie stick. Oh my god, that shit right there changed your life. That shit would change your life. So it just made for a different time. So it's hard to sell. It's hard to sell. It's hard to sell somebody that's no better something that he's seen different, and that's what separates us from me, my attitude from a lot of what I've seen. I've seen better. I've seen different.
Yep. Let's get to Marlon Cozy. Shout out Marlon. He has a question. He says, "Yo, Unc, everybody talks about 50 years of hip hop. Why doesn't anyone acknowledge electro funk?" Before you answer that question, Lonzo, give everybody a few ideas of some electro funk bands to give them an idea of what we're talking about.
World Class Wrecking Crew, Egyptian Lover, Arabian Prince, Soul Sonic Force, Johnson Crew, all of them. I mean, everybody. Then you had the heavyweight boys that we all stole from with Kraftwerk and Thomas Dolby. We stole from all of them. Okay, and we took it and just added our own. There was much more mechanical, and we add that bass lines to it and gave it a flow that they didn't have to it. But they shit was funky too, though. It just had a European funk to it.
Okay, so why do you think it doesn't get acknowledged? Do you think it's just because it's lumped in with hip hop now?
Nah, man, they editing hip hop, dude. I watched, dude, the same documentary I watched Big Boy do today. It was an hour long, and nobody talks about us. Everybody acts like hip hop started in '92. Everybody act like hip hop started in 89, 92, or whatever the case may be, and that was not the case. And it's like they ashamed of the roots of West Coast hip hop. And that really pisses me off, man. That really pisses me off. I listened to Drake in the video today talking about how he was trying to get away from his previous group. I don't remember that. I don't remember it like that. I don't remember nobody trying to get away. Everybody was trying to do something. Nobody had found their way yet. We still was the hottest thing going. We had a slump. Easy was not proven yet. None of this stuff was proven. I'm trying to understand why it seemed like everybody's trying to edit history, man, and I don't like that, especially when I'm a big part of it. And and even when you talk about groups like JJ Fad being the first group on Ruthless Records to go platinum, nobody wants to talk about that. It's like everything came out of Ruthless came out hard. No, but everything didn't come out hard. That's how you got Miss Chalet, another platinum song. But they only talk about N.W.A. and Above the Law and Brownside and rappers like that and H.W.A., but they had a whole nother catalog that was not about that. That was a good, solid selling material. And West Coast hip hop came a long way from 1978 till about 1988. There was a whole genre of folks that made money and made music that nobody got killed at. And I never understood why it was became so popular for folks to get killed in all the music. And now look at what you got now. You got kids that can't go to a funeral, they can't go to school, you can't do shit. You can't go to barbecue on 4th of July without somebody getting killed. Miss people with that bullshit.
Facts, dude. Keep the questions coming, guys. I promise if I don't acknowledge you in the chat, I'm copying everything down. We got some good questions, man. Let's keep them coming. I love when we talk this hip hop stuff. Only Good Game says MC Ren seems to keep low key. I never see any interviews with him. He was the shortest chapter in your book, right?
Shortest chapter, one paragraph. Ren may have come to my house. I don't recall him doing anything that stood out to make me remember him. I cannot recall him doing anything. He may have came after. He may have just came through with Easy one day. I don't recall him recording here. Shortly after Boys in the Hood was done, that was just Yella, Dre, Cube, and Easy. Shakespeare and I was in the kitchen, in the living room. I don't remember Ren being around here, so that's not something that and We had a picture together at an Ice Cube concert about 10, 12 years ago. And I think one thing I know about Ren is me, him, and Tupac got the same birthday. That's all I know about it.
Yep. Man, Ren is a lyricist on the mic. Somebody said that is definite. Andrew has a question. And before we continue, please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the show and you like what you're hearing, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra generous, there's a dollar symbol right there in the chat. You click that and donate to the show. Really, really appreciate you guys. Andrew Arellano says Lonzo, did the rappers, rap label, and artists, Captain Rap, Rich Kaysen, etc., get played in your clubs? They seem to be forgotten in the history books.
Oh, hell yeah. I played the shit out of Captain Rap. Rich Kaysen was the funkiest cat on the West Coast. Bad Times? Come on, man. Bad Times? Kim Ball? Bad Times? Captain Rap? Bad Times? All that got played at Eve After Dark. We never had a beef with them, dude. We never had a beef with the guys like that. Those guys were inspirational to us. You know, they were competition, but they were not competition. They were like, okay, man, I like this. This is good music gonna get played at Eve After Dark. Unless you from Uncle Jam's Army, then we ain't fucking with you. But other than that, good music gonna get played at Eve After Dark. I mean, Duffy would come by the Eve on a regular basis and bring his rappers rap groups to Eve After Dark and let them perform, have them perform live. So yeah, we supported. I mean, I was a supporter of everybody. I never, that's one thing. Anybody knows me. Anybody really knows me. I ain't never been a hater on nothing. That ain't what I do. Never have been. I'm the most open-armed son of a bitch you're gonna meet. Maybe too open. That's probably why maybe I should be like Ren, disappear for a little while and people miss my ass. But that ain't what I do either. So I can't. I'm fucked up like that.
Yeah. Keep these questions coming, ladies and gentlemen. The beef was that deep back then, huh? Between you guys and Uncle Jam's Army, that if anyone was affiliated with them, you didn't play the music, and was it like that with them as well?
Oh, pretty much. I would think, man. I don't know. I didn't go to a lot of Uncle Jam's Army dances. I peep in there from time to time, but Uncle Jam's Army had a couple of records. They had a song called "Yes, Yes, Yes, Yes" that was all right, but it didn't do nothing for us. They had another song, Dollar Freak. That was Egypt's first song. That was on Uncle Jam's. It was on Freak Beat Records. That was Dollar Freak. And we kind of thought that was a ripoff of, because it sounds just like the original. I Need a Freak. It sounds the same record. And other than that, we had no use for their records. And they played, if they played ours, it was cool. But we didn't need them because we had our own fixed clientele.
Any good Mixmaster Spade stories?
Spade was just a cool dude, man. Spade was just a super cool dude. I would see Spade in the streets all the time. He came by the E from time to time, and he only had that one beat, a Genius of Love beat. He loved using that beat on every damn thing. And I see him on the swap meet a lot because he was always selling his music, as the cassettes and his 12 inches after a while. And no, I didn't have a lot of stories. He just was a cool dude.
Nice, man. Yeah, let me copy and paste this one real quick. All right, cool. Lonzo, who is your favorite rapper to come out of Los Angeles? Global Paper wants to know.
Come out of Los Angeles?
Yeah, your favorite rapper. That's kind of hard. I guess Los Angeles County, right? Yeah.
West Coast? Man, probably Quick. Quick and Cube. Yeah. Quick and Cube. I've always liked Quick and Cube. I mean, I like Snoop too, but you said Los Angeles. You didn't say Long Beach. You didn't say California. So, I mean, Quick and Cube always. I like Cube and Quick because both of them always gave you something to dance to.
Yeah.
That was, as a DJ, that's important for me. I don't just play records just because I know the dude. If your shit don't motivate people to dance, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna play it. If no. If I can't get no participation from a dance floor, I'm not gonna play it. You can sit right there and look at me, get mad you want to. I'm not gonna play it. The Quick never let me down. Cube never let me down. His early stuff was always dance music. Everything he did, the stuff from him and Mac 10 and Dub C. That shit always gave you something to dance to. So yeah, and Snoop, same thing with Snoop. He always gave you something to dance to. So yeah, those probably my top three. Of course, The Chronic was a great record, and I love Dog Pound too. So
Yep. Great music back then, man. Great music. Only Good Times wants to know, did white people come to Eve After Dark? I'm white, and I'm just thinking how cool it would have been to go.
We had a couple of white people came to Eve After Dark on a regular basis. We had this one white girl that came to Eve on a regular basis, but this heifer always had this big ass snake with her. I'm talking about this snake was about that big around. It might have been about, I don't know, maybe about 4 feet long.
She's walking in with a snake wrapped around her neck.
Walking, and I knew when she came in the club because niggas would start running. And my girl come in the office, Lonzo, give me this white girl, this white bitch's goddamn snake again. This bitch, it was horrible. It was horrible because when she brought that snake to the club, everybody ran to the other side of the club. Okay, she got the snake around her neck, and they didn't give a damn. They would run to the other side of the club, and my ex-old lady did not like her or this snake. You and this white bitch and this snake, you gonna do some of this white bitch and this snake, and that's all I hear. This white bitch and this snake, this white bitch and this snake. That's all I heard. And one day, man, I got to. Back then, I like playing jokes on people. I like telling jokes. I like playing jokes. So I called myself going to play a joke on my girlfriend. She was a cashier at Eve After Dark. And we had this money box, this big money box we put all the money in. And the room that we used for the cashier booth was a old broom closet we cleaned out, cut a hole in the window, and you slide your money through the door, through the little window. And we could actually go in there, lock her in, could nobody get to her. It was never really locked, but we could if we wanted to. I have a guard posted by the door, and you come up, you slide your money through the window, get rid of money. She give you a change. If you got something coming, give you a ticket or whatever the case may be. One day, my wannabe funny ass decide I'm gonna put this snake in the cash box and see how she react. It started off being funny. Oh, it was funny for a minute. She touched everything in this damn room. She hollered and screamed, and my security guard was trying to open the door, and he was kind of holding the door. She was trying to get out. He was kind of holding the door a little bit, trying to help, faking like he was trying to help let her out. And it went from being funny to being pitiful, because she cried and was shaking and almost went into a convulsion. And dude, I felt bad as shit. Who did that? Who? She cried. Who did that? I said, you motherfuckers don't shut up. I'm going to fire whoever said it. Motherfuckers say my name, I'm going to fire. Come on, baby, let's go in the office. And I blamed somebody else on that shit. And anyway, that was my last practical joke to that degree. And the white girl, we had white people on a regular basis. That white girl and that snake, that's one of Dr. Rock's girlfriends. Her and that goddamn snake always messed the shit up. Anyway.
Damn, I thought I heard everything about that club until today, man. Isaiah Edwards, Lonzo and Dusty, how y'all feel about the Wu, meaning Wu-Tang Clan? They're the greatest group of all time to me. Love their show on Hulu. I'll start. Ghostface Killah is one of my favorite MCs, so much so that my wife and I used one of his songs for our wedding songs. I know that's kind of weird, but we used a straight up hip hop song for our opening song because we both love them that much. I love Wu-Tang Clan. I think between them, N.W.A, Outkast, I think those are probably the most influential groups of all time, in my opinion. Lonzo, what say you, man?
Got much love for Wu-Tang Clan. Got a lot of love for my boys out of Atlanta. What'd you say?
Outkast. Woo, man.
Outkast, Andre 3000, another Gemini. One of the most talented writers and storytellers of his time. And I miss that brother. I miss him. And I also miss, he changed his, what's his name? He changed his name to a Muslim name. He was in 16 Blocks. Y'all help me out.
Yeah, somebody help me out too, because I'm having a brain fart.
Yeah, he got banned from the States for a minute, man. He in 16 Block, he talked like, "Come on, man, it's gonna be all right. My birthday, man. I'm gonna break you a cake, man."
Most Def, duh.
Oh, yes. Most Def, okay. One of my favorite,
N.W.A. or something like that.
yeah, one of my favorite guys from hip hop, from hip hop period, and and I love to see naturally talented people just do all they can do, whether it be rapping, singing, acting, whatever the case may be. And I love watching Andre 3000. He played in that movie. I just watched it the other day. It was back in the 40s. They had the nightclub, him and Big Boy, and they had my girl Paula Patton in the movie, and it was just off the chain. And they was dancing, and it was just doing way too much. And he got out of but yeah, Wu-Tang, N.W.A. and here's the funny part. I'd have to put, personally, I like Outkast the best.
Me too. They're my number one. Andre 3000 is my favorite MC of all time, period.
Wu-Tang would come in second, and N.W.A. would come in third, only because, and here's the part, I know the social effect it's had over the years. You have to be in it to understand what I'm talking about. When I remember when the movie Straight Outta Compton first came out, I was in the clothing store. And hey, dude, hey, what's up, Lonzo? How you doing, man? Blah, 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 blah. We got to talking. I could tell homeboy just got out. He was swollen and shit, had that fresh jailhouse physique. And we got to talking. He said, yeah, man, I said he did a movie about N.W.A. I said, yeah. I said, you gonna check it out? He said, nah, man. Them times I can't go watch that, man. Them times got me 15 years, dude. And that was the sentiment of that era. A lot of folks believed, a lot of people bought into that storyline because most hip hop people do not vet the artist. They take them at lyric value. You follow what I'm saying? They take them at lyric value. And even today, right now, same thing. You got a lot of artists who talk a gang of shit in the studio and have to go outside the studio to live up to what they said in the studio and either get themselves caught up or get killed. Trying to live up to your lyrics. And I'm not saying that they didn't do certain things, but to know the guys and know how cool they were, and then to see them morph into this different type of personality, it just didn't work for me. I don't know Wu-Tang. I don't know how real Wu-Tang is to their lyrical lifestyle, and the same thing with Andre 3000, Outkast. It just when you know something, it's like my son trying to be a gangster. Negro, sit your ass down. If my son tell me he was trying to be a gangster, and if he made money at it, I'm gonna go backstage and clown his ass. You got these people believing that shit. That's the good, son. You know what I'm saying? And it always felt like that to me. It's just the storytelling, Cube, lyrical genius, always a great storyteller, great actor. But again, I know too much.
There it is. Yeah, man, this is a good question. I don't think I've heard this one yet, Lonzo. This may be a first for the show. Andrew says, I interviewed you at our old studio years ago and asked about how you knew World Class Wrecking Crew was big when some Mexicans knew you guys when a car broke down with a muffler. Please share that story.
It's an honest to God true story. Me and Dre were coming down from downtown LA doing something. And I never liked taking the streets after 5 o'clock. It was like a spring summer day. Oh no, it wasn't that hot because we had our jackets on. It was still daylight. Coming down the street, all of a sudden somebody, bam, hit the back of my BMW, my man called Hawk, blue BMW with the Lorenzos on it, hit the back of it and broke the two big ass rubber bands that hold the muffler on the car. Look in the car, it's a Pinto. I swear. It's 9 motherfuckers in this Pinto. It's 9 people in this Pinto, and nobody speak English. So they say. I'm pissed. We down on like 20 something in Maine or something. We down there in the hood of hoods, and we talking about in the 80s. All right, and I get out, and back then I wasn't the nice, calm person I am today. I've always been a passionate person, but back then I'd cuss a motherfucker out in a minute because I was a boss and I could do that. At least I thought I could. I got out talking shit. What the fuck is my car? Whoa, 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 whoa. And you know, I'm on one. I'm on one. And I look in the corner over there. It was the cleaners. So I figure I can fix my car and patch it up so I get to the pad. And I go to the cleaners. It's cholos in front of the cleaners. I just swole up and talked all this shit. I say, hey man, I need a coat hanger. Fix my car. We ain't got no coat hangers home. We ain't got no coat hangers. I knew what this was. Like, oh, I didn't talk too much shit. Fuck. Because it was Latinos in the car, cholos in this thing, and I got out talking all this shit. Dre got out the car to help me do something. He had his coat on. And when they saw Dre's coat, hey, Holmes, you know Dr. Who's this? You the Wrecking Crew, man? Yeah, I'm Dr. Dre. What? I swear to God, we got enough coat hangers to open our own goddamn cleaners. They got under the car and tied the fucking pipe muffler back for me. We gave them some autographs, left out there, didn't get jammed as shit. I swear to God. Honest to God truth.
That's so funny, man.
They climbed, the cholos climbed under there and got me some hangers and tied my muffler together so I get to the pad, dude. That's no bullshit.
That's crazy. And this is before Turn Off the Lights because you guys weren't even messing with each other. So you guys were in the streets were pretty big.
All we got is surgery and juice and maybe Turn Off the Lights. We had tour jackets. Lovers. We had to have lovers. It was from our tour jackets. We had tour jackets, and they knew who the hell we were, man. Jake got out the car with that jacket on. Wrecking Crew. Hey, Holmes, what you know about the Wrecking Crew? I'm Dr. Dre. What? And they came over there. What's going on, man? All right, cool. Give me a cut. Puppet. Give me. Stop. Give me a hanger. The dudes climbed under there and wired up my shit, and we gave them DAP and an autograph and got out of there. No bullshit.
Damn.
My truck
That's one of the funniest things I've heard.
It was cool.
Damn. Love it. Yeah, we got cool. We got about 12 more minutes and a bunch of questions. DJ Flash recently claimed to own the Makola catalog. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, I did.
And who is? Talk to us about DJ Flash. I hate saying who is, but talk to us about DJ Flash. DJ
Flash was a member of he was on the Rappers Rap label with Duffy. His group was called Dark Side. He was the first white guy I ever saw in a rap group in LA. And there's a picture of him. I think he was holding a shotgun or something. You got to dig for it though, because they only had a couple of songs. And DJ Flash always reminded me of KC from KC and the Sunshine Band. They didn't have a big hit, but if you find one of those Dark Side records, worth about $3,500 to collectors right now. No shit. Look it up. Go to Discogs and look it up. Dark Side on Rappers Rap. Flash has always been able to make an impact some way, form, or fashion. And I don't know whether because he's white, but he has gotten into places that a lot of us didn't get into. Flash saved my ass one time, couple times. I was going through some financial problems, and Flash came to me just in time to license some product and got me out of a hell of a situation. So I always got respect for him. But he bought the Makola label, he bought the Makola logo, and Makola sold him some shit that he didn't even own. And right now, it's a lot of people mad at Flash because he's trying to claim shit based on Makola. Makola, all he ever did was press and distribute. He never put nobody in the studio. He may have put some people in the studio, but he never put Wrecking Crew, Unknown, Egypt, Rudy, none of the main people in the studio. But he did a illegal deal back in 90-something to this label called Electro Beat over in England, and he sold all our shit behind our back. We didn't find out about it till damn near 2008. and the amount of money that he sold it for was ridiculous, almost like $100 a track or some more shit like that. And we still fighting to get that shit rectified right to this day. Flash bought that so-called catalog, but none of the main songs are owned by Makola. None of the Wrecking Crew stuff. But he has claimed I had to go out and get my publishing manager to get him off my shit. And a couple of guys are really pissed because he's claiming stuff that's not his. And he's a good dude, but he got some Makola ways. He got some Makola ways. I'm gonna leave it like that. But I talked to him last week. In fact, he wanted some pictures of mine for his project, and I told him I charge for that stuff. First thing, he'll send me a text. There you go, trying to keep a white man down. Yeah, all right, motherfucker. Anyway.
That was funny. Hey, since we're talking about Makola, you told a story a few weeks back when you pulled up to the Gangster Chronicles podcast that you haven't told in a couple years. So I think it'd be a right time to tell it now. But the movie Straight Outta Compton has a scene where Ice Cube tears up the office with the golf club. You actually did that in real life. Break that down to us and tell us about that.
I've never claimed to be a gangster, but I've done some gangster shit. Never claimed to be a gangster, but I've done some gangster shit. In order to survive the nightclub business or the music business, any entertainment business, you have to be prepared to do shit you might not want to do sometimes. This to make a some bitch feel you. And it was right around the time Makola was going out of business. He had his new partners had just cleaned him out. He recalled all my Turn Off the Lights 12 inches. And I went to Makola for something on a Monday, and there was a whole just multiple pallets of this shit. I didn't know this shit is sold in so many copies. So I told Don, because at one point in time, this time me and Unknown we had already started West Coast record distributors. So I'm just gonna sell Turn Off the Lights through my own channel to get my money. My cousin had the truck. I called my cousin. He couldn't pick it up until Wednesday. We go by there. I had to go by. I told Don on Monday, I'm coming to get my stuff Wednesday. Just so happened, I go back to Makola on Tuesday for something else, and half the records are gone. Half of the records are gone. Might have been at least about maybe 10,000 are gone. Now, where my records at? Oh, they were taking up too much space, and I had to grind them up. You can't grind up 10,000 records that fast. You can't do it. You cannot do it. So Don didn't know that we all had the secretary on our payroll. And she was a white lady named Jane. Did you give Jane at that time $20, $50, whatever the case may be? She call. Okay. And I called her back, and she said, your records are on Pico and so-and-so. So I drove to Pico. Me and my cousin drove to Pico, and they had what they call a one-stop. One-stop was a rack jobber. A rack jobber was a guy who went around back in the day and bought all the records that didn't sell for cheap. He put them on these racks in the grocery stores, liquor stores and stuff, and he might buy them for 50 cents. He'll put them out there and charge $2 and make his money. That's how he made his money. And he was notorious for buying catalogs. So him and Don cut a deal. Don sold a bunch of my stuff. So I couldn't go after this dude right here. So the next day, I went to Don, and Unknown was aware of what happened. So Unknown kind of, I don't know what you did to Lonzo, but he is fucking pissed at you. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know, but you better watch yourself. When I walked into Don's office, he was on the phone. I snatched the phone off his hand. Don kept some golf clubs in his office. I grabbed the golf clubs, 9-iron, and I started hitting shit. Television set, his desk. I threatened to tee off on this motherfucking head if he didn't find my records. Before I can do that, he just threw me a pile of money. Already banded up. Now you get your money from the bank. Already banned. To me 2 bands of money. It was one stack of 5,000. Another stack, 2,500. What's it for? Well, I just feel I destroyed your records, and I need to give you something for it. Well, goddamn it, you need to give me some more of this right here. So I just went off on him. And now I knew what was happening. I knew what he had done, but I made him pay for it. I said, not another motherfucking record, but I leave this goddamn record plant till I get back with my truck tomorrow. And I came back the next day. All my records were there. We loaded some bitches up. We left. I threw Jane $100. And that was the end of it. Don didn't mess with me no more. He knew I had that side. And again, that's not something I'm proud of. That's not something I flash. But if you want to survive, sometimes you got to do some shit you don't normally do.
Man, there it is, dude. We have a few more questions. You want to wrap it up, or you want to get to the questions next week? You let me know. You want to do like a fire off round or something?
Give me something else.
All right, cool. Let's keep it going, man. Rick Ski TV, how was the World Class Wrecking Crew show in London in 1986?
1986.
Got some London babies out there that probably about 43 years old.
We played Wembley Stadium. It was World Class Wrecking Crew, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, and Sir Mix-a-Lot that I can remember. I know those four for sure because we all came on. We left L.A. Mix-a-Lot left with us in L.A. We flew to New York, stayed overnight in New York, left there, and went to England the next day. And a few things I remember that I never forget. One is Flash. They never changed clothes from the time we picked them up in New York to the time they hit the stage. They never changed clothes. I never saw them with a suitcase. We thought that was crazy as shit. Mix-a-Lot, me and Mix-a-Lot talked about this in one of my interviews on this very channel. He and I had an interview maybe a year or so ago. And he was talking about how he admired us so much and how we were his idols at that time. And Bambaataa was like Elvis over there. He was like fucking Elvis, all right? And we was the Beatles because they was loving us. Dude, we had a ball in England. We stayed at a place called the Spider's Web in London. I never forget that shit as long as I live. Stayed in the Spider's Web, and we almost got hit by cars multiple times. So we would cross the street. We looked the wrong side every damn time because they on the other side of the street. I remember going to buy a steak. It didn't have no pepper, no salt, no nothing on it. All they had was steak. The first thing we ate when we got to London late. Only thing they had open was a KFC. We were so happy to see that KFC. Well, we tore into that. They left out all 11 herbs and spices. There was no herbs and spices in this shit. It was totally different, dude. And these are some of the things I remember about being in London. But the show, I wanted to kill Yella that day because the technician told us, Wrecking Crew had a full MIDI system that we played with. It was like a digital live band. Keyboards were active. The drum machine was active. We can reprogram this thing on site, do solos, and also do encores. And the guy said, "Do not plug it into that system over there, that plug over there." And the first thing Yella did was stuck it in the damn plug and fried my whole goddamn system. Fried everything. But because I'm an old school Boy Scout, I always kept a tape of the show ready to go. So we gave the engineer the tape. He played the tape, and we were able to pull the show off. We couldn't do all our shenanigans that we normally did, but we got through it. And man, to see all them people sing our songs and to feel the energy was amazing, dude. And I would love to go back to London again, dude. That shit was off the chain, man.
Damn, that's dope. Let's see. We can do a couple more if you want. Were there any artists that came around to Eve After Dark that you thought maybe was up next but never blew up?
Yeah, this guy named MC Bear. MC Bear, he was a funny dude. He was a good ass rapper. He came to the club. He had some fur on his from his wrist to his elbows. And he would do a song. He had his little bear cuffs on and shit. And that was his part of his show. And he was a damn good rapper. He was right around the same time Clientele was. But Bear got into the gangs. I never heard from him again. He was a talented cat. but he went left. Never heard of him again.
Damn.
Anthony King blew up in his own right as a pop locker and a dancer. I always thought he could have been a bigger star. He did great. He did. He's doing great. I just always thought he could be a lot bigger. That was just my opinion because I always thought he was such a talented person. But some people, they cool with what they get. He's like me. I'm cool with what I got. I'm not mad at nobody for not getting Dre status or Cube status because I like doing shit with regular people. I don't have to have Hollywood in my life to function. I like kicking it with folks like Dusty and folks. Period. Shit, I'm just a regular dude that happen to have some popularity.
Yep. Let's do one more, then we'll call it a night. I'll get to everybody else's next week, I promise. Global Power says, how were the women in Compton back in the day during the world-class Wrecking Crew? Compton women back in the day.
Okay. Compton. What's that Mix-a-Lot record? Compton face with an Oakland booty?
LA face with an Oakland booty.
Yeah. Okay. Compton had both of them. Yeah, Compton had ass and face. But you might get your ass whooped. That's the only problem. You might get your ass whooped if you stepped out of line. They didn't play. Man, we always had a good. I see a lot of the same women today, and they still look good today. A lot of the women that came to the Eve back in the day, they still holding up in their 60s, dude. Occasionally a couple of them, fell off, but for the most part, a good percentage of them still look, attainable, and ain't nothing wrong with that, Doc. Ain't nobody perfect. Everybody perfect, but yeah, it is what it is.
All right, man. Always a pleasure, dude. What's next, Lonzo?
Oh man, doing an interview tomorrow for LA Times. Waiting to hear back. I'm doing one for LA Times for Greg Mack, and doing a thing on Sunday for my boy Bougie. I forgot his Bougie B or something like that. They honored me out in at this club down in LA for LA 50th anniversary of hip hop, and I'm waiting to see what our good Senator Bradford's going to do in Sacramento. So we got some things popping off, Doc. We got some, and I'm still waiting on Easy Street. I'm still waiting to meet. I meet with the city manager next week to get Easy Street on the agenda so we can take it to the next level, folks. So it ain't over with yet. I'm trying to do it for his birthday, but it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. That's for damn sure. But if I can make it a little bit later, as long as I get it done, that's the main thing.
That's what's up. And make sure you tune in every Friday to Legendary Connects with Lonzo Williams and Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. Great show. I really think you'll enjoy it. Always a pleasure, man.
Much love, folks. I need y'all to share this show, man. I ain't been growing like I need to be growing, man. I'm sitting there.
Hey, you know what, Lonzo? Trip out on this, because I check out the numbers behind the scene. This month we've grown more. I'm always trying to think positive, but we've grown more in this past month and a half than we've grown in probably 2 or 3 years. I don't know what it is. People seem to like the hip hop stuff too, so we'll keep doing more hip hop stories and stuff. But I know because I want to be at 100,000 subscribers right now, but we're itching up there, man. We'll be up there one day, man.
All right, share, subscribe.
But keep sharing that shit, though. Yeah, but please share that show. Please share that show. Tell everybody about it.
All right, folks, we out of here. Thank you, Dusty. Till next week, baby. Peace.